Hello, House of Friends Reviews here for, well, a video that has been personally something I've been looking forward to doing. I'm pretty, as you can see, decked out my Nintendo Live show from last year. Yeah, ready to get back in and talk about the, well, the launch game from Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I've been having a lot of fun with this over the last couple of weeks, so forgive me for the lateness of this review, but what more can I say? I am a huge Mario Kart fan. I've played pretty much every game in the series, with I'd say majority of them on the original hardware, not counting Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart Super Circuit. I have played 64 once on actual a couple times on actual hardware, even though I don't actually own the game physically. But yeah, and I've played, in terms of the arcade games, I've only really played one, but I don't know, maybe if I see the others around, I might give it a shot. Yeah, I've even given a try with Mario Kart Live Circuit, the kart, or well, you know what I mean. But anyway. But yeah, going into this, I was excited as hell when I saw that new Mario Kart tease in the reveal trailer for the Nintendo Switch 2 in January this year. So yeah, here we go. Let's talk about it, Mario Kart World. And there is a lot I want to say about this. And yeah, I'm excited. I mean, Mario Kart 8 and /8 Deluxe, I have played a lot. It's perhaps the game I've played the most of online, and yeah, I'm a pro at it. I've even entered even competed in a couple of tournaments here and there, to show my skills and all that. Hell, I even competed in a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was one of the games in a Mario tournament I did at Nintendo Live last year. So yeah, fun to finally do it. Yeah, so yeah, I'm experienced. And even with the booster course pass and how, yeah, I wouldn't say it was perfect, but it was still good to add new content, and at least be able to play a lot of the tour tracks on without getting paywalled and all that and everything. Look, when it comes to tour, I will say it gets better, but you gotta spend a lot of money first to get the full gist of it. Once you've got a good amount of characters, then you can have fun. Even though that game stopped updating about 2 years ago, they're just recycling things, but hey, as long as I can still play it, I'll try and eventually get to level 100. It's my ranking, but yeah, that's another time. But going to this, boy was I excited, and I was curious to see what they would do with this. What will be the new feature? Because I don't know where they could go after anti-gravity. And, well, to my surprise, we're getting an open world Mario Kart game, and it was definitely the biggest draw factor with this, with a few added features here and there. I mean, this is still at core a Mario Kart game. You're going to be able to play as a ton of characters, as pick your favorite Mario character to drive a car or a bike or ATV, whatever you want, and go along all the tracks, whether they be old or new, and compete to win or get the best time in time trials. We're also competing in the old game of battle mode and win smaller battle themed tracks. But of course, in this end, you'll be able to go around, playing with all these new features. Much like after 7 introduced, you get to glide around when you go over glider points and glide around. Though we don't have hang gliders this time. Our car actually transforms into to have airplane wings and all that, and drive on top of water but not underneath it. That's a big change. I always like driving underwater in 7 and 8, and Tour. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least with this, you do get some cool trick options here and there, and yeah, you can have a little bit of fun. Yeah. But of course, the big change of this is being able to grind on rails and hop on and drive on walls. Bit of an integration of anti-gravity to a certain extent, but it can be very fun, and I've seen a lot of great speed runs of courses for time trials and all that online, and people who've actually mastered it completely over the last couple of weeks. And I'm like, cool, but I'm gonna wait till but I haven't got it yet. Maybe one day I'll give it a shot with some of my favorite courses so far in the game, which will help you not only complete all the everything that's around in this game, and yeah. Well, I definitely think so. Yeah, at core, this is still the best. It's still the same Mario Kart game, but of course, the big thing with this is being able to drive in the open world. And well, what it is, well, it's all. I I like the open world. It's really good, you know. And you know, look, I'm not going to say that this is as well. This is a fulfilling, the best open world uh, racing game on like. I mean, this isn't anything close to say the Forza. You could say the Forza Horizon series is probably better. I mean, I love the one where it was set in Australia for obvious reasons, but for what it is, this is still a great open world to explore. I find it fulfilling to just drive around the Mushroom Kingdom and be able to see all these unique landmarks, to see how each of these courses actually connect to everything and, well, the geographic locations, and also getting the opportunity to see some pretty cool Easter eggs of the Mario, uh, obscure Mario games and everything. It's fulfilling as, and just seeing all, it's just a very, it's just something you, as a long-time Mario fan, getting the opportunity to do this, driving around the Mushroom Kingdom and everything, is great, and I can't describe and I can't explain just how much it means to me to be able to do this. I will, and yeah, that's pretty much why I like it. It could be better. There is still a lot to do in this. There are various challenges you can take on when you hit P switches, to the opportunity to collect like medals. And well, for a bit of variety, there's Peach medals where you can collect to. Well, as an added bonus, I don't know, I forget what they do. And there is also, and there are in each of all the 31 of the 29 courses available, well, 29 of the 30 available, excluding Rainbow Road, there are question mark panels that you can have to hit in the track themselves to, to mark as bonus points and all that. Plus, also you can collect all the dash fruit to transform your certain characters into getting out alternative outfits. There's even special vehicles where you can actually, in the open world, where you can actually enter in and drive in there, like a truck, or my personal favorite, UFO, which is definitely the rarest as far as I'm aware. But yeah, it's just something that you can, as long-time Mario Kart fans are, they'll get their kicks out of it. It's not the most in-depth, but for what it is, I think this was a solid start for potentially a new era for the Mario Kart franchise, and yeah, that's just so exciting for me, With that, I will say some of the rewards you can get from it aren't necessarily the best. Like, you can obviously unlock, using the open world and collecting coins and all that, you can use that to unlock additional vehicles and all that, and with the dash food, which I'll get to later, you can unlock certain characters, which I'm about to talk about. And yeah, and of course, you can also gain stickers with these events, and some I like. But they're just cosmetic, and I wouldn't say they're as grand as customizing your cart in, say, Mario Kart DS or something like that. Yeah, I think that was handled better, but it was great to at least see some, you know, a degree of customization and everything, and that's always something to be proud of. And the missions, I mean, everyone loved the mission mode in Mario Kart DS, so I'm glad they included it in some capacity here. But let's get on to my favorite thing about this game, the cat, which is something the Mario Kart series has been a bit shaky, in particular with how 8 originally was released, the character roster. And what more can I say about this? This is the best Mario Kart roster in the franchise's history. I mean, just look at this. If you've seen all of images and looked up on the Mario Wiki this roster, you'd be impressed as. I mean, you've got your standard ones you get. They've become, pretty much mainstays of the series. And, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Wario, Waluigi, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Bowser, Bowser Jr., Koopa Troopa, Rosalina, Shy Guy, and of course some others that, have been, features in a lot of others, like the babies, Toadette, King Boo, Birdo, Lakitu, and even Pauline, who only made her debut as part of the Booster Course Pass, and Kua gets in, but yeah, you know what you're going to get with those. But then you get to some of the more interesting choices. Look, some you could sort of say, alright, they will show off eventually. Like Nabbit, I'm always glad to see him in it. He's sort of like this character, I just can't, he's always grown on me the more ever since he became playable in New Super Luigi U. The Hammer Bro, a character who was into Monty Mole, why he's one of the worst characters from in Mario Kart according to Sheffler Productions. The Piantas, makes sense, Wiggler, back again. Dry Bones, always good. Spike, yep. But then you get some strange ones. The Goomba, I was shocked to finally see him playable in anything, but yeah. The Cheap Sheep, alright, sure, whatever. Sidestepper the Crab from Mario Bros, alright, sure, fine. A Piranha Plant, okay, he was playable in Smash Bros, whatever. Cataquack from Super Mario Sunshine, holy cow, whatever. The Conch Door, oh my goodness, how's that gonna drive? Rocky Wrench, okay, sure, whatever. I'm okay with that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The Swooper, the Bat, oh my goodness, that's cool. The Peeper, another Ghost Enemy, okay. Pokeys, jeez. The Stingby, alright, sure. The Fishbone, okay. Coin Coffer, the Penguins, the Snowman, oh gosh, now you're getting really surprising here. A Dolphin, holy crap, from Super Mario World, yes, give me that. Arabitty Bud, alright, let's do it. And Charging Shark, yes, let me play as him big time. And okay, and whatever, where is it? I know he's somewhere around here, the character everyone pretty much got giddy over. Where is it? Yeah, there you go, just, everyone, you love your cow, whatever. I'll gladly take the Dolphin any day of the week, personally, but yeah, enjoy your meme choices. But then, of course, you look at all the character outfits, oh my goodness, this is insane! I know, as I said before, I think the problems with the previous Mario Kart games, especially 8, was the fact there were so many clone characters, especially with Mario and Peach. And well, I think giving these characters outfits as different for different regions of the world helps this a bit. This actually makes things more, better. I find because none of these, at least these characters are, look different enough, and it gives a bit more reason as to why there's certain characters are missing. But then again, you don't have to mind because of the characters they did bring in. It's insane what they've come up with. Of course, you have to unlock a lot of all these outfits by grabbing dash food among the region, among the game, and I wouldn't lie and say it's not the best especially when you're trying to, on the high CCs and all that to get them. But there are some really fun costumes for each of these characters, and referencing all their appearances in other games. And even some you wouldn't expect, to be fair. And of course, you got the original ones too. To be fair, some of them are alright. The Food Slinger Yoshi is basically, Yoshi's outfit for handing over the food in the dash panel areas and all that. But they're fine. Some like Peach and Daisy and Rosalina's Era outfits sort of match a bit their outfits in other Mario spin-off games, or even a little bit Mario Kart, the Mario Kart games where they're riding bikes. And you know, I mean, whatever. Toadette's Explorer outfit, you know, it's referenced Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, okay, and well, why isn't it Toad's Explorer? Why isn't it actually just called Captain Toad? I would think a lot of people would have been okay with that. But then there are some very, very unique ones, like, oh my god, Mario's aviator outfit. I was surprised to see that. I like that, to be fair. Obviously, Super Mario Sunshine vacation outfit, always a pro for me. I think, and even I'm trying to remember where it was, but they did throw in his his bit of a cowboy outfit theme for his appearance in Mario Kart, in Mario Party 2. Yeah, right here. That's great. Wario's Bee costume, or Wasp costume, reminds me a little bit of, I think, one of the transformations he has in the Wario Land series. I'm not sure which one, but I'll have to double check that. A bit of a, I love him, though I will admit his Oasis outfit as a sultan, as a sultan is kind of hilarious, and I love it. Well, my brother loves the Waluigi vampire outfit, and yeah, I can see why. Personally, I love Luigi's Oasis outfit and Daisy's Oasis outfit. Obviously, Daisy's references a bit of her Kingdom of Sarasaland, but yeah, I think Luigi's, it makes sense. They're my favorite Mario couple, to be fair. The Aristocrat Yoshi is personally my favorite, as is the King Boo. I love it. And oh my gosh, Bowser's Supercharged outfit from his appearance in Skyland Supercharged is, oh my gosh, give me that big time. Yeah, it's not the best. Yeah, it's not exactly what it looks like. Yeah, I'm well aware of that. But it's just a unique reference, and I'm just glad they threw it in there. Yeah, so this roster is great. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Completely. But I will admit, with some of these, there is one problem I have with this. And that is with the special characters. And that is how you unlock all of them. And this is probably going to be my biggest rant. So, while unlocking all the outfits requires you to be around, grab certain food for certain characters in specific regions of the world, which, you know, isn't the best, but hey, it's doable, in most capacities. It's unlocking a lot of it's the characters that are a lot more of a problem. Yeah, these, oh my goodness, the characters. These special characters require one specific thing. There is a new item in this where you can summon Kamek, the Magic Cruiser, from basically, I think, when you're either in 4th or 5th position to you know, create a bit of a distraction in order to maybe, you know, fool the leader, the top 3 players, to get back into the top of the table, well, top of the leaderboard, or whatever. But yeah, what he does is that he'll transform you into a different character throughout the region, depending on what region you're in this game, or near what course, I should say. And he will also summon obstacles within that. But with that said, that's how you unlock a lot of these characters, is that Kamek's going to transform you into them and be able to, you know, and once he's transformed you once, you unlock the character, regardless of whether you're playing online or something like that. So yeah, that's how you do it. With that said, some of these characters, it's very hard to get with a lot of them. Oh, jeez. There are some really difficult ones, especially ones that you can only get in one specific location. And it's always random whether Kamek's gonna, whether one of your opponents, especially if they're being controlled by a computer, or even to a certain extent when you're playing online, is going to be able to summon them. You're sort of just making a bit of a guess. And look, some of these characters, I can understand why they're only available in certain, you know, locations, like something like the Fishbone, obviously reference to Dry Bones. You're going to find in Dry Bones Burnout. Fair. Rocky Wrenches, yep, that makes sense for them to show up over in Airship Fortress. But then there are two that really infuriate me. Because, oh jeez, they take for freaking ever. Alright. The first one is, trying to remember which one it was. Oh, it gave me so much. Oh yeah, the peepers. You can only get them if you're traveling to Boo Cinema or driving around Boo Cinema. And okay, it makes sense because it's a haunted house area, so it would make sense why you have to drive there to get the peepers. And you even can tell because you see them in one around some of the entrance gates that lead up to it, and yeah, yeah, but it still takes so. It still is infuriating. That's the only place you can get it, and if you're not, and it's just so. It's just, yeah, whatever. I guess you can sort of say, okay, it makes sense. But then there's the dolphin. Oh, jeez, getting the dolphin. The dolphin, as I said, was the character the joke character I was more excited for. I know everyone was gushing over the cow. I was gushing over the dolphin because I like dolphins. I really do. It just. The dolphins in Mario, I love generally one of my favorite animals. But the problem is where you get them. Oh, this took forever. You can only get them in one location, just like the peepers. And judging by that, if you've seen some screenshots, you would know that the dolphins sometimes appear in the background near Peach Beach, and you would say, no, that's probably where you get them. Not exactly. Peach Beach is only where you can get, say, the Cataquacks or the Piantas, which are okay. I guess that makes sense. So, where's the dolphins then? Koopa Troopa Beach from Super Mario Kart. My problem with that is that they don't show up. There's no clue to say that you can. There, you have to look up a guide or look up on Mario Wiki. It just, gosh, if you don't know where to find these guys, it's just going to be so infuriating when you realize that you haven't really got a chance to unlock them. And even then, as I said, it's so random when someone's going to get the Kamek items. Jeez, they could have done this better, and everything. And some of them, you would maybe imagine they could have unlocked in different ways, like using with free roam and all that to drive around the world. You can unlock these characters through separate ways, like encountering them as in around the world. Like I said, the dolphins show up in around Peach Beach. Take a photo of them. Maybe that's how you lock it. You got to chase down Nabbit a couple of times. There's missions where you have to chase down Nabbit and collect some coins. And yeah, this may be where you could have unlocked Nabbit, but to be fair, I don't mind. Nabbit's actually playable right from the start, so pros there. But even then, why is Donkey Kong the first unlockable character in the Grand Prix? It's like, why is that? Even Daisy's been demoted again. I was like, oh, come on. I mean, Bowser Jr. and Rosalina I can understand, but King Booga as well. But yeah, those two, yeah, don't understand why they went that way. But now let's get on to the tracks. The main thing everyone loves about Mario Kart. But I should mention, in terms of this, but in general, this character roster is fantastic. I never thought we would ever get anywhere close to a roster as great as, say, Mario Super Sluggers. I mean, that character roster was insane with what they have here. And yeah, you can say that might be still a little bit better, just because, lack of other characters from the Donkey Kong games other than DK himself. I mean, Diddy's not even in it, so who knows what might happen. And I probably have more things to say about that. But we'll get to that anyway. But yeah, this is still the best roster in any Mario Kart game. Even better than Mario Kart Wii and Double Dash, and they had great rosters, to be fair. But now let's get on to the tracks. And I should mention there is 2 less tracks than usual, so we only have 30 instead of the regular 32. When the game's launched, that is. I'm not counting 8 Deluxe, because that include all the DLC tracks from the original 8. But yeah, for what it is, it's usually 32 to start each Mario Kart. But for what it is, they obviously have to fit it in with the world, and some of these tracks are... And I should mention, these tracks, there are some real headbangers in this, and yeah, what more can I say? These tracks, there are some really good ones in amongst this roster. What more can I... Yeah, this is probably one of the most diverse and most interesting Mario Kart track rosters probably around. I mean, obviously they all have to connect to the open world, but And you can argue and say that not all these tracks are absolute winners, but for what it is, there are some really ingenious tracks here that you're surprised just how Nintendo could be able to create this. I mean, DK Spaceport involves you driving around a recreation, an almost full recreation of 25 meters from Donkey Kong Arcade in the thing with a rocket sort of in the middle. I mean, where did you come up? Where could Nintendo come up with this? This is actually pretty fun. It's amazing. I think a lot of people were a little bit surprised that with Tour they never made a Africa-based track, but Fast Air Oasis probably comes close to giving us what people probably wanted. And yeah, it's a really fascinating. I really love driving around and seeing all these seeing animals like giraffes and elephants and all that. I'm sure there's probably a few people who want to see now that an elephant or an ostrich or something like that maybe be a playable character. Who knows, maybe they can include the ostrich from Donkey Kong as a DLC character. Talk about that at different points. I also love Salty Speedway because that makes me it pretty much makes me think of Venice, Italy, and yeah, that's another place I would have liked to see as a track and tour. But yeah, for what else, it's okay. The Great Question Block Ruins. This is definitely the flonk ruins of this game, but oh my gosh, it's just a fun time. I really enjoy it, and just question blocks having their own Mario Kart track makes perfect sense to me. Cheap Sheep Falls is definitely I think this is the best Japanese themed track. Well, okay, one of the best. I think Ninja Hideaway is probably better, but this is still a fun one, and makes me feel like this should have been what the Tokyo track should have been in Tour and all that. Making a lot of comparisons with Tour, actually, I'm probably not done. The Starting Peak is definitely perhaps one of the most beautiful tracks around here and all that. It's really fun, and having Rosalina's Comet Observatory be there, it's sort of a library and all that, makes a lot of sense and all that. Well, it's not necessarily an original, the regular Mario circuit. In fact, Peach's Castle 9E, but Mario Bros. Circuit is at least different enough, and I'm kind of okay with that. And Acorn Heights, while not as grand as Wild Woods in Mario Kart 8, I still find it really enjoyable and all that. It's fun, and yeah, really makes me really is a good one. Dry Bones Burnout is probably one of the most intense ones. I really enjoyed it and get a lot of good mileage out of it. Along with Dandelion Peaks, that's also one of my favorites to drift around. Bowser's Castle, gosh, I'm glad they did something a little different with Bowser's Castle. I mean, even driving up to it in the world, just to see it high up on the top of this volcano, and how you've got to just fly up there just to even reach it, it just makes you feel like this is one of the castles Bowser does not want you in. And even getting to this point where you have to drive in the clouds, see this giant magma Bowser staring at in front of you, that is just insane. And geez, when I first played Rainbow Road, I was blown away. I almost got a bit emotional, actually. It made me think of just playing through the Mario Kart 7's Rainbow Road for the first time. The colours, the graphics, the music, the track layout, it just melted my heart away. It was fantastic. My gosh, it was great. And do I even need to explain how much I love Boost Cinema? No? Yeah. You can understand why I love it, and I think a lot of people love it. I think Nathaniel Bandy's pretty much called it his favourite track in the game too. Yeah, and then there's the retro tracks. Oh my god, do some of these really explode. I mean, Trooper Beach is pretty fascinating just how much they changed it. It had a bit of a tie into Electrodrome with the Koopa Troop DJ. I mean, it's great. I think a lot of people were a little bit skeptical over bringing Mario Circuit from Super Mario Kart back, and yeah, I was skeptical too. But the fact that with what they did with this, just making a full-on go-kart track, including the first three variant, the first, second, and third variants all together, it's pretty great, and I'm okay with that. I love it for what it is. Toad's Factory was always great to see return, and I'm glad to be able to drive around it again and have fun and everything. It's a fun time. As is Airship Fortress, always a great choice from DS. Love it. Wario Stadium from N64, it's taken forever for it to finally come back, and we all knew this would have to be one of the tracks that would show up. I mean, the only 64 track that hasn't been remade. I'm just glad it finally came along, and I love it. It's just fantastic, and being able to play on it is always great. And Sky High Sunday, I understand why a lot of people didn't like it in when it came, when it was first introduced in 8 Deluxe, and the 8 Deluxe Boost Course Pass and Tour, but I didn't mind it, even though I will admit it is generic, but this is what it should have been. This is such a great track now, and it's fantastic. It's beautiful, and you know, Dino Jungle, I wasn't expecting such a massive change up with this, and yeah, it's great for what it is. I should also mention when it comes to the SNES tracks, some of them are actually, you can access some of them in the world as you're driving through to do some P-Switch challenges, and obviously there's a tie-in to Super Mario Kart and all that. And while some are okay with them being around, like some of the Ghost Valley track, like the Ghost Valley tracks being connected to Boost Cinema with the pier that surrounds it, that makes sense. And I guess to a certain extent I can maybe buy something like the Choco Island stages and the original Koopa Troopa Beach being close to these remakes of SNES Koopa Troopa Beach and N64 Choco Mountain. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I'm okay seeing the Vanilla Lake show up. Just driving from, say, DK Pass to Warrior's Galleon. I'm always going to refer to it as Warrior's Galleon, not Warrior's Ship. Or whatever. I don't know, I wouldn't call it perfect. Yeah, they could have been handled a bit better. But even there... Oh, and I also got to mention Shy Guy Bazaar. I love this track, it's so great. But it's also fascinating to see that this is actually now that they pretty much included it, and they also included, a palace for Princess Daisy as a bit of a like saying this is actually part of Sarasa Land. That's incredible. I mean, in fact, even when the enemies from Sarasa Land, from Super Mario Land, show up in this in Dry Desert Hills, and yeah, it's just fantastic. Just give me, I love references to past Mario games, and Super Mario Land doesn't get that much reference, i.e. mainly Sarasa Land in general, so it's great to finally see it and see Daisy's castle. It's just, great. And, it's fantastic. But even then, I will argue, I have to admit, not all these tracks are absolute winners. Some are a bit, whatever. Like, I mean, Warrior's Galleon or Shipyard, whatever you want to call it, does feel lacking to the fact that you can't drive underwater anymore, but what it is, the water-based tricks do make it somewhat original, and it is a new experience for what it is, and I guess for that circumstance, I guess it's okay. Crown City is the largest course in the game. In fact, you've got to drive through it twice in the Grand Prix mode, and yeah, I won't lie, it's not the best for what it is, but it does its job, but maybe not totally good. I think I will, and I already mentioned my thoughts on the SNES tracks being around. The fact there's no Super Circuit tracks at the moment is also disappointing. I think there would have been some that could have been really good to be around, and you never know when they'll show up. Desert Hills, well, whatever. I didn't mind it in DS, but it's always this one track I've forgotten about until I remember it like sporadically, and now it's here, whatever. Choco Mountain from N64 was in the Booster Course Pass, and I'm like, you really need to bring it back. But I don't know, it's at least a new looking course and everything, that's fine. And I gotta say, Moo Moo Meadows, why is this back? That's the one I'm like, seriously, just give me Moo Moo Farm from 64. I'm so sick of this course. I mean, this is one that my friends at my work always play, and they always love this track, and I'm like, I don't get it. And it looked great in base 8 and 8/8 Deluxe. Do you really need to bring it back now? Look, I get you want to have a tie to the cow, but yeah, I don't get it. It's just like, Yeah, that's the one I wish wasn't around, personally. But, for pretty much everything else, I'm grateful that they're here and everything. So, yeah, I'm okay, I guess. Just wish that Moo Moo Meadows wasn't around. I guess the only other tracks I should mention are the battle mode tracks, and I wouldn't say it's as these tracks are. Well, battle mode isn't exactly like base 8, Mario Kart 8, where it was just reused tracks that was so long and you couldn't find anyone. And well, to a certain extent, that big. They're all still mostly confined areas, but they mostly go the tour route where a lot of these tracks, well, some of the tracks in Tours Battle Mode when it got eventually added were just shortened areas of the city tracks, and well, the city tracks did work in that regard where it was easy for them to do. With some of these choices, I wouldn't say they're perfect, but at the very least, they did bring two tracks from two Battle Mode tracks back from past games, which are Big Donuts from 64, though it isn't technically everyone's favourite as far as I know. Honestly, I still think its remake in Mario Kart 7 is better, and the Desert track, Battle Mode track from Wii, I forget its name. Name's up now on screen. Yeah, for what it is, it's not bad, but I wish they could have done something on par with the 8 Deluxe Battle Mode. I miss Renegade Roundup. I want to play it again, but look, I don't care that the Primal Plant's now playable. Let me play Renegade Roundup again. Bomb Blast 2, that was fun. Shine Thief, yeah, I want more of it. And I haven't talked about Knockout Tour, but for what it is, it's just basically drive. It's basically the normal CC cups, but this time you're driving from 6 different tracks linked together in a certain path and all that. And yeah, it's still basically just regular, Grand Prix and all that. Just every time, if you finish below certain places at each checkpoint, you get knocked out of the race. So it is frantic in that, but it's still fundamentally the same thing. Just aim for first, So yeah, that's basically Mario Kart World for what it is. And yeah, I still love it. It's a great game. Love it, love it, love it. Is it my favorite Mario Kart of all time? I'm gonna have to think that over. But I still think this is worth it. Well, at the moment, this is the main game everyone wants to play on the Switch too. Well, at least till Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out. And I'll talk more about when I plan to get to that at a very different point. But, this is still a fun game. I love it. Mario Kart World, it's an 8.5 out of 10 half stars for me. I love it. I love it. And I'm going to keep playing it for a very, very long time. But I'm not done yet with Mario Kart World. Yeah, I've got one more video to come for this, and I sort of addressed it a little bit within this review. I'm going to talk about I'm going to do a prediction video for DLC for this game, and yeah, I think we all know it will eventually come DLC, whether it be free updates or DLC packs and all that. And I've got my own thoughts of what I think will show up, and whether it be characters or tracks and all that, and expansions to the open world, and maybe improvements for more for battle mode. But we'll get to that when we get to that for the next video. You're just gonna have to wait and see for that. But in the meantime, Passive Users out, and I will catch you for my next video. Ciao!